Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's a bit hot. I gotta take this jacket off. It's about 95 degrees out today. And I love it warm like that because the tires are warm enough where they grip, makes the bike feel like it's on rails. But sometimes wearing that gear, it's a bit too hot. So it's nice to take a break here and talk to you about the Saddlemen Step-up. I have a first thoughts and installation video on the Step-up. If you want to see that video before watching this one, go ahead and click it in the upper right corner right now. Also have a link down below. In that video, I go in depth about the seat and actually install the seat itself. That's just my first thoughts video. This is my full review after about, I'd say 1,200 miles or so. Let me first start by saying this seat is ridiculously comfortable for me. And I'm gonna go more in depth about that in a little bit. First, I'll talk to you about why I got this seat. The most obvious, I wanna go long distance, I wanna do moto camping, so I wanted a one-piece, two-up seat that allowed for both passenger and my ability to have some type of large amount of luggage on the back, along with my burly sissy bar. So far, the Saddlemen Step-up checks all those boxes. As you can see, my Kiryakin bag here, it's fairly secure on the seat itself, along with the sissy bar. It holds tight. I was going 70 miles an hour down some country roads and it held tight. It's fantastic. So the pillion portion of the seat is both wide enough for a passenger and this bag, and still fits with the sissy bar. I'll go ahead and take this bag off right now so you can go ahead and see that. So the Step-up looks damn sexy on this bike. It really does. Usually when you're looking for a seat, you have to choose between a clean, sexy look on your bike, or if you want comfort, something that looks like it belongs in your living room. There rarely is a seat that checks both those boxes. The Saddlemen Step-up does both of those. It looks clean and sexy on the bike. It's comfortable for the rider and passenger. The pillion part of the seat is wide enough where it's comfortable for the passenger. It also doesn't obstruct the burly sissy bar like I've seen on some other one-piece, two-up seats. A lot of people both on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel have asked if the passenger part of the seat is comfortable. The width and the space, it's really comfortable for passengers. Compared to some other seats out there, definitely comfortable. So more about comfort. Saddlemen adds a lot to the seat to create comfort for Harley riders. Let's start with what's underneath here. Like a lot of quality seats, Saddlemen put rubber bumpers on the bottom. That does two things. One, it protects your paint, and two, it dampens the vibrations from our Harleys. Saddlemen also has a carpeted fiberglass pan for this seat. The pan is rock hard. Now, it may not seem like it, and your intuition may think, a hard pan on a seat? That's gotta be ridiculously uncomfortable. The reality is, especially for long rides, having a hard pan on your seat leads to greater comfort, because think about your stock saddles and other saddles without a hard pan. It flexes, and over time it gets even more flexible. You don't want your seats to flex because it creates a lot of discomfort, especially for longer rides. That solid pan keeps you in place, doesn't allow for flex, makes for a much more comfortable ride. Most importantly, Saddlemen has added their gel core technology to make this seat really comfortable. After riding with the Saddlemen Step-up with gel in it, I will never, ever go back to another seat without gel. That has made this seat really comfortable. I can't stress comfort in this seat enough. So the shape of the seat, let's talk about that for a little bit. So the back part here, I can put my ass against this part of the seat, pull on the throttle, and it locks me in place. That's what this seat is for. If you want a seat where you're moving down the highway or you're moving down country roads and you need something to lock you in place as you're pulling on the throttle, this is the seat for you. With that said, this seat is thin enough where if you like to move around on the bike, you can pick yourself up and move yourself around on this seat and on the bike. I do it all the time, especially when I'm riding in the driftless region. There's some hills and twisties where I need to move my butt around, or if I'm just facing a bump or a dip that's coming up, I can pick myself up easily and shift my weight around. This seat allows for that. Now, when I first got this seat, and I talk about this in the first thoughts and installation video, I sat higher up on the bike with the Saddlemen Step-up than I did for my previous seat, which was a Lepera Aviator and then the stock seat before that. But I did talk about in that video how Saddlemen says, give it a little time, about 300 to 500 miles, it will sag a half an inch. That's exactly what happened. Right now, with my Memphis Shades Del Rey Sport Shield, the way I sit on the bike with my ass to head height, I sit perfectly. So when I sit on the bike, now mind you, I got my shock set up now for that seat on back because it's a little bit extra weight on there. So I'm sitting up a little bit higher than I normally would. Not much, but just a little bit. So I am 35 inches from my ass to the top of my head sitting on this bike. And it puts me in such a comfortable position while riding, especially when I'm facing a lot of wind. The top of the windshield is a perfect height, so it keeps that wind off my chest and pushes it over my head. I can feel it at the top of my helmet, right where my air vent is. So it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect position that it's put me in. Keep in mind though, a seat does not make a comfortable position on a motorcycle alone. There are a lot of factors. I just mentioned earlier my ass to head height. You could put two people that are 6 feet tall back to back. They'll be the same height, but their ass to top of their head height could be different. Their legs could be different lengths. So to simply ask somebody on the internet, how tall are you while sitting on a bike? It doesn't tell the full story. What really tells a better story is one, your ass to head height, so you can see where they're sitting on the seat to head height. For legs, yes, seat height from ground is really important for legs, so you know if you could flat foot the bike. But definitely comfort from here up needs to be known as well, not just total height. Also, a factor for comfort on a bike is not just the seat. Handlebars and handlebar position equally plays an important role in that. So if you buy a new seat and you're finding yourself in an uncomfortable position, but you find the seat physically comfortable with your ass on it, change your handlebars up or change your handlebar position a little bit. Make adjustments. I installed my Saddlemen Step-up before I installed the Biltwell Chumps here. And I've spent the last 2.5 months or so since I've installed the Biltwell Chumps, adjusting them fore and aft to find just that right position for my back and for my height and everything. So when you sit on a bike and you think, boy, that's an uncomfortable position, don't just look at the saddle. Look at the handlebars, look at your riding position. Get this bag back on here and hit the road again. So I'm on my way home. I'm out riding in the driftless region, and I just thought I'd stop and mention a few more things about the Saddlemen Step-up that I didn't include in the video. So while I was editing, I realized I was so excited to tell you everything that I loved about the Saddlemen Step-up seat. And there is a lot that I love about it, a lot. But I neglected to tell you what I don't like about it. There's not much. In fact, this list is really short, and quite honestly, probably a little nitpicky, probably me just trying to find something that I don't like with it, but a couple things that I realized early on. So let me start out with how thin the seat is. This is one of the positives of the Saddlemen Step-up, because as I explained, you can move yourself about on the seat really easily if you need to. If you have a wider seat, moving yourself about, not as easy, but that's a positive. But it is also a negative. If you notice, when I sit on the Saddlemen Step-up, my legs are a lot closer to the engine. So I can feel the heat coming off of the engine a lot more with this seat than I did with my Lepera Aviator or with my stock seat. Now that's not necessarily something that I can fault Saddlemen for. Harleys are hot. Heat is generated by the engine. It's gonna come up, and the closer your legs are to the engine, it's just gonna get hot, you know? When I'm on the bike like this, you can see how much closer my legs are to the engine. When I had the Lepera Aviator, my legs were forced out a little bit more by the shape of the seat. But the Saddlemen Step-up definitely puts me closer to the engine, where I feel more heat coming off. And I feel it even more when I'm not wearing protective riding jeans. When I'm wearing regular jeans, I really feel the heat coming off the engine. Now the other one, I don't even know if I should even call it something that I don't like about it, because it's really not that big of a deal. So the Saddlemen Step-up for Sportsters, it is a smaller seat than it is for other models. So the step-up part of the seat is just a little bit smaller for sporties than it is for Dynas or for Softails or any other model of Harley. But that's not because Saddlemen wanted it that way. Sporties are smaller bikes, so you're gonna need a little smaller seat. If it was any larger, it would look ridiculous on the bike. So my only gripe about that is I wish the step-up part of the seat was just a little bit taller. I feel like I'd want just slightly more support in my lower back. But this seat is already high, so it covers the bases there, but just a little bit more would be nice. Again, I'm nitpicking there. So those are the only two things that I can come up with that I don't like about this seat, because it is a really good seat. Okay, I'm glad I got those in. I'm gonna get back on the bike, ride for a little bit more before the sun sets. Back to the video. Thanks for watching this one, everybody. If you have any questions at all about the Saddlemen Step-up, or any questions at all about my motorcycle, how I've set it up, moto camping, or anything else, go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. I love the community that's developed around this channel. It means a lot to me to hear from everybody who's commented. So go ahead and put some comments down below. If you like this video, go ahead and click on that like button. Helps out the channel an awful lot. If you're new here, or if you haven't yet, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. Click on the bell icon so you know when I upload videos just like this. Most importantly, ride safe out there. Keep your wheels rolling in the right direction. See you in the next one, everybody.